Today we're going to be talking about a man who has wrestled in WWE and TNA, arguably the two biggest wrestling companies of the past decade. A man who wrestled for two major companies but ended up finding more success as a political commentator on Fox News. What's going on, guys? It's Tom, or Top 10 Wrestling, and today we're going to be talking about the career of Tyrus in wrestling, mainly focusing on his TNA career and discussing what he's doing now in wrestling and political commentary. Before we get into it though, make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you do enjoy the video. Most of the people watching this video aren't actually subscribed, so if you do end up enjoying this video, feel free to. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. I would also recommend you check out my Super Peer link in the description below and sign up for Super Peer and hit subscribe to my Super Peer page. There is going to be exclusive content, live streams, all that on there. I'm partnering up with them. Hear more about that later on in the video, but let's get into the video.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you are watching Top 10 Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
So before we get into his time in TNA, let's briefly run over what he was doing before that. Tyrus was signed to WWE in 2006 and was assigned to their developmental territory, Deep South Wrestling. He took on the name of G Rilla and floated around the roster. In 2007, FCW would form, with G debuting in 2007. However, he wouldn't last long in FCW as he would be released in January of 2008. But luckily he was resigned in 2010, adopting the name of Brodus Clay, which is what he would be known as in WWE, and he would be part of Series 4 of NXT back when it was a game show. Does anyone remember that? He would originally have Ted DiBiase Jr. and Maurice as his pros, however this would change as Clay won a 4-way match, giving him the right to change pros, and he chose Alberto Del Rio. Brodus Clay would finish runner-up on the series, losing to Johnny Curtis, who would obviously go on to be Fandango. He would have a brief stint as Alberto Del Rio's bodyguard, and then would disappear for a few months to film a movie. Vignettes began airing on Raw, hyping up his return as a monster heel character. However, in January 2012, he would return as a monster, but he would infamously return as a dinosaur, the Funkasaurus, accompanied by his Funkadactyls, Naomi and Cameron. He had a dancing gimmick. He stayed around as Brodus Clay as a mid-card babyface act, eventually recruiting Sweet Tea, who was once known as Tensai, to form Tons of Funk. And Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls were scheduled to face the Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins at WrestleMania 28 for his first WrestleMania match, but unfortunately the match was cut. Tons of Funk would stay around on the roster until Clay would turn heel on Sweet Tea, disbanding the group and claiming that he was a main event player. However, he would find no single success in this run and was released from the WWE in June 2014, though he did get his WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 30 in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, so good for him on that. And sure enough, Brodus Clay would of course rock up in TNA, just like a lot of released WWE stars would at this time, taking on his new name of Tyrus. We're going to go ahead and go through his TNA run and watch a few of his big matches. Tyrus debuted at the September 16th, 2014 Impact tapings, aligning himself with EC3. They would enter a TNA World Tag Title tournament and make it to the semi-finals before losing to the Hardys. Following this, Tyrus wouldn't wrestle for a few months and was more or less just acting as EC3's muscle, a role he played very well. He would return to the ring on TNA Lockdown 2015 Impact Special, facing Mandrews and Spud in a 2-on-1 handicap cage match. This match is so incredibly random, how about we just give this one a watch for our first of 3 matches today? So yes, it's Mandrews and Rockstar Spud, both winners of British Boot Camp, and Spud being the Feast or Fired X Division winner, and they are facing Tyrus, who is joined by EC3. The two attack Tyrus before the bell, but that doesn't faze him, and Tyrus is absolutely dominant for the first couple of minutes of this match. He throws Mandrews into the corner with an exploder, which looked brutal. He goes for a powerbomb on Spud, but Spud gets out of it and hits a huge senton off the top of the cage, and the big man is down. What an awesome start to this match. Mandrews looks to escape, but EC3 spits on him and takes him off his feet. causing the back of his head to hit the steel stairs, which looked so brutal. Spud is alone in the ring now as EC3 hits him with the cage door and Tyrus hits him with the spike to win the match. Very short but sweet match. I really enjoyed this match, honestly, for as short as it was. I thought Tyrus played his role well. I thought these two played their role well as the underdogs. And yeah, just a fine match here. Before we go any further, I want to tell you guys about Super Peer and how you guys are going to be getting more content from me for absolutely free. Superpeer.com/top10wrestling, link down below. Sign up and subscribe right now as you are watching this video. Literally do it right now because we are going to have a lot on there. We're going to have live streams every week, multiple live streams every week, exclusive content, videos there premiering early. And most of the stuff there is going to be free, but for $5 a month, you can help support me and get more exclusive perks. So do check out my Super Peer, links down below. It would really mean a lot. My first live stream is this Saturday. We're doing a watch along for the Elimination Chamber. It's completely free. You're all welcome to join, and I'm so excited for it. Superpeer.com/top10wrestling, or click the link down below. Sign up, subscribe, all that jazz. And yeah, let's get back into the video. Tyrus would continue to ally with EC3 and would wrestle the likes of Lashley, Mr. Anderson, Eric Young, Kurt Angle and others on Impact and One Night Only events, bringing us right up to Tyrus's first ever pay-per-view match. Taking place at Slammiversary 2015, it's EC3 and Tyrus versus Mr. Anderson and Bobby Lashley. This match was just fine. I'll be honest, it didn't really belong on a pay-per-view, especially considering at the time TNA was only doing 2 proper pay-per-views per year, being this and Bound for Glory. This match would have been good on Impact, I thought. Again, it was a fine match, and EC3 and Tyrus do get the win here, as EC3 pins Lashley with a 1% after Lashley speared Tyrus. EC3 is also the number 1 contender at this time for the world title, which made me wonder, was Tyrus ever the number 1 contender? Did he ever compete for the title? Well, let's head over to Bound for Glory 2015, where it looks like Tyrus might have been getting some sort of main event push. It's a 12-person Gauntlet for the Gold Battle Royal. Tyrus enters at number 8 and immediately eliminates Al Snow. Chris Melendez is out next at number 9, but Tyrus makes very short work of him and gets the one-legged Army veteran out the ring to eliminate him, and then throws out Shearer shortly after. A very dominant start for our man Tyrus. Number 10 is Tommy Dreamer, and him and Tyrus have a little interaction. Number 11 is Abyss. Him and Tyrus start staring each other down. The crowd are going crazy for it. And number 12 is the Pope. He comes off the commentary table to a huge pop, which made me so happy. He gets in, sees Abyss and Tyrus, and he just eliminates himself, and the crowd kind of fall completely flat over that moment. Everyone has now entered as Tyrus and Abyss continue their battle, and Tyrus bests him and eliminates Abyss, a huge elimination. Robbie E is then eliminated by his bromance partner Jesse Goddard. Tommy Dreamer is eliminated by Anderson, as is Goddard, who is eliminated by Anderson, leaving it down to Mr. Anderson and Tyrus, and it's Tyrus who gets the win with the heart punch. He absolutely dominated the match, and EC3, who is the world champion, and his tag partner comes out, congratulates Tyrus, says this is what it's all about. But then Tyrus gets on the mic and says he's not challenging for the King of the Mountain title, he's not challenging for the X Division, the tag titles, or even the Knockouts title. He is fully intent on challenging for the World Championship, which makes for a really cool storyline. You know, EC3 is his partner, so he's challenging his own person, you know, or maybe he's gonna challenge someone else. He's an insurance policy possibly. Nah, none of that, because after this victory, Tyrus versus EC3 for the world title would never happen, and in fact, he wouldn't wrestle again for another 3 months until the January 2016 tapings of Impact. Like, what the hell? But lucky for us though, he would challenge for the world title, not until March 2016, but he would challenge for the world title. It's Impact Sacrifice 2016, Tyrus opens the show calling out Drew Galloway. He's accompanied by Spud now, as he turned on EC3 in January, and Spud is now his lackey. Drew Galloway is out, and it's time for him to face Tyrus for the world title. Drew from the jump is angry, he starts taking it to Tyrus, using the fans to hold Tyrus down as he chops him. Tyrus takes control as he beats down Galloway and targets the injured ribs. Tyrus tries to attack Galloway with the world title, but misses, and Drew hits a bulldog and then destroys Spud. He hits the Claymore kick, but Tyrus kicks out. Easy to remember that his finisher is the Claymore kick now, but wasn't really back then, which it really caught me off guard seeing Tyrus kick out of it. Galloway hits a huge superplex for another near fall, and the crowd are super hot for this match, and this match has been really good so far. Tyrus goes for the heart punch, but Drew Galloway hits the future shock and gets the win. And this was a really good match. I really enjoyed this match. The crowd was super hot for it, and yeah, really good short but sweet match once again. I really liked this. From here, Tyrus would kind of just float around the mid to upper card, and you know, he never challenged for a title or wrestled on a pay-per-view other than one night only events ever again, but he was just a good, reliable guy, and he was just fine. I think he was fine in TNA. And I think maybe the reason why he kind of took a little bit of a step back from wrestling and took a bit of a backseat was because in November 2016, he would make his first appearance on the Greg Gutfield show on Fox News. And after this appearance, Gutfield invited him to start appearing as a guest on the show twice a month. And Tyrus would also begin making guest appearances on various other Fox shows, including The Five, and really just cemented himself as a political commentator rather than a wrestler, wrestling kind of being his second gig now, I guess. Tyrus would finish up with Impact in January 2018, and from here would only wrestle occasionally on the indies after this, until he joined the NWA in 2021, and now currently sits in the NWA undefeated in singles action, and is the current NWA television champion. So fair play to him on that. I'm a big fan of the NWA. And I think he's doing pretty decent in the NWA. You know, he's the champion, you can't really argue that. And he's also now a regular panelist on Gutfield on Fox News, where he regularly appears holding the NWA TV title. But yeah, that's about it for Tyrus's time in TNA and the career of Tyrus. I think he was just fine in TNA. He wasn't bad, he wasn't good, he was reliable, he was just a fine monster heel to kind of have on the roster, and good muscle for someone like EC3. I think he worked really well in that role. He's doing pretty fine in the NWA now, fair play to him on that. But once again, I think being a political commentator is kind of his main gig now. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button for more. Check out my second channel, Alliance Wrestling, for more wrestling interviews. I should have some coming out soon. In fact, check out my Super Peer, where you'll be able to see those interviews early, as well as other content from me early, exclusive content from me, live streams, all that jazz. Super Peer is the top link in the description. Subscribe to there, whether it's a free subscription or a paid subscription. You're getting your bang for your buck. You're getting more top 10 wrestling content, so be very much appreciated. Check out our link below. Twitter, Instagram are also linked down below, all that jazz. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.